Vision prediction video. Let's get into it. We got Ngannou Gane, greatest heavyweight fight of all time. Give me that. Here we go. Prelims, predictions, Geeks Vision. Here we go. First fight, Jack Della, Maddalena versus Pete Rodriguez. Pete Rodriguez comes out plus 250. Jack Della, Maddalena is minus 310. These guys absolutely scrap. They throw down. Pete Rodriguez is only 4-0. Jack is 10-2. He's riding a 10-fight win streak. Coming off the Contender Series. Huge win. It was definitely an awesome fight. Got Dana White off his feet. He was clapping, which is lit. Pete Rodriguez's nickname is Dead Game. That's pretty intimidating. He was 7-2, his amateur record. I don't know about this one. I think that Jack's kind of a dog. I think that Pete is unproven. So I'm gonna take Jack in this one. I'm not confident. This one definitely at minus 310 is definitely not something I'm comfortable with. But I think he's a dog, and I'm ready to ride it. I'm ready to start riding it. We'll see what it looks like. Let's go to Fishman.
Pete Rodriguez. So it's his debut. He's got 4 knockouts, but he's never fought longer than 2 minutes and 21 seconds. All of his opponents were 0-1, and his first fight was professional fight, at least, was in October 2020. So I do not know about the experience level of Pete Rodriguez, but Jack Della Maddalena, I know for a fact, is a dog. He is durable, and I loved his Dana White Contender Series fight. He was just dogging it out the whole time, and his only L's were in his first 2 fights, I believe. So, yeah, I think he'll easily gas Rodriguez out, and he's got that.
Let's go Dano next.
I'm going Maddalena. Most of the stuff that I know is from you guys. But we got 2 25-year-olds. They look to be studs. Opening the prelims, clashing in the middle. I got to give some love to Uncle Dana. I think coming off the Contender Series, Maddalena, Dana kind of handpicks those guys, so there's always a little flair with them. As you guys said, he's a stud. I'm going Maddalena.
Goosey.
All right. So first, I do want to mention Pete Rodriguez, body type, Lil Kelvin Gastelum. I mean, the skills aren't there. The power could be close. Pete Rodriguez is knocking guys out with the quickness. But this fight, to me, he doesn't seem ready for the UFC. And I think a little bit is the toughness the UFC has had scheduling these fights. They've been needing to go to backup fighters. I'm not 100% sure the UFC would have signed him if the circumstances were different. That's not to say he couldn't have made his way into the UFC, but I don't think at 4-0, Pete Rodriguez is ready for the big lights. And I think, JDM getting that win on the Contender Series, proving he is in the talent pool for the UFC, he's going to separate. So I'm picking JDM in this one.
All right. Looks like we got a clean sweep on the board. I also want to mention, like Fish said earlier, I think his first 2 losses came his first 2 fights. I want to say he lost to a guy in his first 2 fights, and later on came back to knock him out. I think 8 fights later, he rematched him and knocked him out. So that just shows you the progression that JDM is really going at. You know what I'm saying? It's a good stream at a upward rate. So let's move on to the next one. All right, we got let's move on to the next one. All right, we got Ilia Topuria versus Jourdain. This is a featherweight scrap. We got huge lopsided odds here. Topuria comes out. He opened at minus 650. He's now at minus 700. Jourdain plus 425, moved up to plus 450. So not as much movement for the dog, but heavy movement coming in on Ilia. Let's just go Goose to start this one off.
All right. So I want to start by saying this kind of gives me shades of Hooker Makachev. I don't think the skill level is at that high, but there's a little bit more flair in the game, and I see the wrestler getting it done in this one. Give me Ilia Topuria, the hot prospect, 11-0, with a full camp. Granted, Charles Jourdain is not like a big or a short notice opponent right now. He just fought recently. He's in shape. But I think Topuria has everything that we see the holes in the game of Jourdain. We saw him lose to Juicy J. He got gassed out from body shots and wrestling. And I mean, that is the absolute strength of Topuria's game. I think he goes out, proves too much for him, and gets the submission. I would say second round.
All right. Bold take, bold take. You know what? Myself, I think that this matchup is kind of really, really, really lopsided. And I'm not gonna come out here and say that Ilia shouldn't be the favorite. Yeah, I think he should be the favorite. Based on recent events, the way that he's been taking down people, body shots, wrestling, and the recent ways that we've seen Jourdain lose body shots, wrestling. Yeah, it adds up to a perfectly terrible line. But here's what I'm thinking. Jourdain is going to be able to just have enough energy and scrap ability and just movement to just keep this fight wild. Whether the Topuria is not going to come in here and hold him down. That's not what I think is going to happen at all. I think that Jourdain is, let's see, 2 inches taller. He's going to have a slight size advantage. I think that that's worth plus 450 as it is. He's a freak athlete. He's going to have gas. At plus 450, take my money. You know what I'm saying? He's only got to win 1 out of like 6 or 7 times to be profitable. So yeah, take my money, Jourdain. Give me a good scrap, and let's see the judges. Let's see the judges in this one. You know what I'm saying? If I think we get to a bell, I think we could see something funny. Fishman, what do you got?
I got Ilia Topuria, but so 3-0 in the UFC. He's got 7 subs, 3 knockouts, and his only decision was against Youssef Zalal, but still won with a unanimous decision. 2021 knockout of Ryan Hall. I mean, if he's going to go against a guy who wants to go on the ground like that, he could keep it standing, which I love. He'll be able to knock him out just like that. But 10 out of his 11 wins are finishes. And Jourdain, he's good. 11 out of 12 wins are finished, but I think as soon as he get a little tough, he'll fold a little bit. Julian Erosa with a sub, Andre Touchy-Feely, he's got a win over him. Desmond Green at Sanford MMA. So I think I got Topuria on this.
All right, Dano.
So when I look at this fight, I see Ilia Topuria and great value Ilia Topuria. I think Jourdain is a stud, but I think he's just a couple levels below our boy Topuria. Jourdain's, he's a fun fighter. He's electric. And I think he got a lot of hype off the ending of his last fight, which was a good fight. But if you're got a bloated head and then you want to say, oh, let's fight again, and you step in with Ilia Topuria, I don't think that's a good decision for you. If he wins, hey, hat off to you. Great decision. But I think Topuria is a stud, almost wizard-like, no pun intended, which he beat Ryan Hall, the wizard. But I think he's a stud. 11-0. It's going to keep going. I think he's a problem for the featherweight division.
All right, facts are out. So that's how that one's going to go. It's going to go Ilia Topuria with the geek sheet. He gets the geeks vote. We're going to move on to the next one. Is a certified freak show, certified banger. Raoni Barcelos versus Victory Henry. Where did they get this guy? Victory Henry just signs with the UFC just in time to get into the octagon with Raoni Barcelos, one of my personal favorites. I wish this guy was just a little bit younger so people would put more respect on his name. But he is 16-2. Victor Henry is 21-5. The odds on this one are Victor Henry plus 350. Barcelos comes out minus 500. Chalky. I think it should be chalky. This chalky, I don't know. I'm still gonna ride Barcelos because he is the better fighter. Am I gonna bet on him this weekend? I'm not positive about that. But yeah, I think he should win this fight. I think he's better in all aspects. I don't see anything short of a dominant performance from the boy. I think he's gonna do some serious damage, work his way slowly up the rankings. Like I said earlier, I wish he was younger. He's not, but I think that he still is a threat to those title contenders. I think he's a guy to watch out for. Dano, let's go right back to you. What do you think?
I'm siding with Barcelos as well. I think he's all around better. He's been around for a while. He's well respected. He's beat good names like I see Chris Gutierrez, Said Nurmagomedov, so he can handle himself. And other than that, I just think it's going to be pretty dominant with Barcelos.
Yeah, I'm taking him by decision. Goose, what do you got?
So you look at Raoni Barcelos, and you mentioned he's a win away from the rankings. He's maybe a little bit of a win streak away from getting those title contenders. I don't see a guy who's just getting into the UFC at 34 years old being on the same level. You know, like this guy is in a pretty elite tier of the UFC. And I just see him proving that. You look at Victor Henry, he's shown a little bit of a weakness to straight punches and leg kicks. You're fighting Raoni Barcelos, you're going to eat those then because he's going to keep coming with them. The takedown defense is good. I think he's able to keep this one standing. And I think it comes down to Victor Henry's toughness in this one. You know, he's in front of the hometown fans, but I think eventually Barcelos puts him away.
Good take. Let's go, Fishman. Finish us up.
I'm not going to agree with you guys, but I'm going to go against the grain. Barcelos, so 4-1 in the UFC, tough 28 winner. So we love those tough winners. So he's never been finished standing, and he's only been subbed once. Very dangerous guy. Victor Henry, on the other hand, plus 310 I have him at. It's his debut, 34. And I'm going to go with Henry, but it sounds a little crazy, but I was looking at the guys he's fought. They've all had a bunch of fights on their resume. So I think this guy's got experience, but not in the UFC at the top level. But I think he's going to come out hot. He knows he needs wins. He's old, but they're the same age. They're both 34. They're actually born 3 days apart. I found that funny, but Victor Henry, I'm gonna go with the younger guy on this one by 3 days, and I don't know. I think this one's gonna be cool to watch.
All right, let's go. So I got him by decision. Looks like Dano's got him by knockout. Goosey has got Barcelos by knockout, and Fishman's is gonna ride against the grain and gonna take a Henry decision. All right. But the Geeks overrule with the vote. So Barcelos will take his name on the sheet. All right. We're going to move to the next one. The next one is a certified banger. Here we go. Rodolfo Vieira versus Wellington Turman. Ladies and gentlemen, what about? Whoever lined these guys up needs a raise. You know what I'm saying? Sean, Shelby, Mick, whichever one of you guys. Put these two names next to each other. Thank you so much, because I'm just so happy we get to see what the fuck happens here. Turman comes out at plus, I think 195 I see, and now he's at plus 183. So public money's bringing his dog money down. Rodolfo Vieira comes out at minus 250. He's now at minus 230. Okay, so yeah, money's coming in on Turman. Let's go. This is a middleweight fight. 32 years old. Rodolfo Vieira, they call him the black belt snatcher. This guy is lethal on the ground. He's got about every credential you can imagine for jiu-jitsu, man. Nationals and everything. Not a guy you want to roll with at any means. We got Wellington Turman, on the other hand, who's just been knocked clean out. I mean, I can just see all his times he's been knocked out, like vividly in my head, because they're always just so brutal, which is, I guess, a treat. So I like watching him fight. Uh, I don't know if he's gonna have what it takes in this one. He's going against Rodolfo Vieira, who's got an evolving stand-up game. Looks like his gas tank's coming along. I think that Rodolfo Vieira keeps it on the feet. If it goes to the mat, I don't hate that either. Turman, I think's a little sloppy, but I think Vieira is gonna win this fight. I would hate to see it in the third round, but I think he can get it done before that. Let's go to Goosey in this one.
All right, so I'm gonna take the younger guy in Turman in this one. Maybe it's just because I can't get that image out of my head of Rodolfo Vieira just flopping around the octagon to his first submission loss of his UFC career. But I can't justify him being a heavy favorite in this one. You know, you look at Wellington Turman, and some of the strengths of his game are his grappling, his takedown defense, and he's getting better on the feet. You know, I think he's a strong kid. Rodolfo Vieira obviously cuts a lot of weight down to middleweight and pretty large in the octagon, but I think he'll be able to keep it standing. And you can't tell me if this fight hits the second in a stand-up bout, you would be nervous for Rodolfo. So that's kind of the way I see it leaning. I see, you know, Turman last fight out had a split decision with Sam Alvey. He also gave him 2 points. Won that 30-27 without that, possibly even 30-26. I think he got his 26 on his scorecard. So I'm gonna take the dog money with Turman.
I mean, I've just been hearing some things about guys who can't finish Sam Alvey when he's this old, but you know, whatever. Maybe Sam Alvey is really good still. Dana, what you got?
I got this one as one of my locks of the night, and I'm riding with Rodolfo Vieira. I think that since his loss with Anthony Hernandez, bounced back against Dustin Stoltzfus, went to the third round and got a sub, which means he's got to be working on his cardio, and I would assume he's continuing to work on his cardio. His striking looked better in the Stoltzfus fight. And my comparison with Turman is last week's Chase Sherman. I think Wellington Turman is a big dude. He's intimidating looking, but he's just not that good for the middleweight division. And I think Vieira is going to be able to handle himself on the feet. And if it goes to the mat, I think he's going to dominate on the mat. And I got a sub for Rodolfo Vieira. I don't know which round, but I got a sub. He's going to hurt him on the feet. Turman's going to go down, and out comes the grappling and ground game from Vieira.
The black belt snatcher, that would play perfectly, huh? Maybe that's why they matched him up. Fishman, what you got?
I got Rodolfo Vieira on this one. 3-1 in the UFC. 7 out of his 8 wins are subs, so gets it on the ground. He's a dangerous guy. But takedown accuracy is 52%. So I mean, shoots twice, he's gonna get you once. So I mean, yeah, I'm riding with Vieira on this one.
Let's go. That wraps up the prelims. Jack Maddalena, I mean. We went Ilia Topuria, we went Raoni Barcelos, and we just finished it off with Rodolfo Vieira. So check it in for the next video. Main event coming soon. Let's go.